Before we get into that, though, I have something I'd like to share. As you know, when we're recording this podcast, it's a few weeks before it goes out and gets published. But we just had the invasion. Russia just invaded Ukraine. And so I am promoting a campaign for the Ukraine Crisis Relief Fund. Global Giving is a great organization, and they have a Ukraine Crisis Relief Fund. Russia has invaded Ukraine in the biggest state against state attack since World War II. Millions of civilians are caught in the middle of an escalating military conflict and humanitarian crisis, and casualties are rising. Your donation to this fund will support Ukrainians in need with a focus on the most vulnerable, including children. There's been 8 years of armed conflict in eastern Ukraine, and it has already killed thousands of civilians and put millions of need of humanitarian assistance. Full-scale war in Ukraine has created catastrophic consequences. Nearly 400,000 Ukrainians have fled Ukraine in response to Russia's invasion, and up to 4 million could follow. The COVID-19 pandemic is also an added challenge for communities where violence and uncertainty takes a heavy toll. All donations to the Ukraine Crisis Relief Fund will support humanitarian assistance in impacted communities in Ukraine and surrounding regions where Ukrainian refugees have fled. Global Giving's local partners are bringing relief to terrified and displaced communities, and they need resources to continue their life-saving work. Your donation to the Ukraine Crisis Relief Fund will provide shelter, food, and clean water for refugees, health and psychosocial support, access to education for kids, and economic assistance for families, and so much more. Global Giving is one of the most reliable and trustworthy charities in the world. They have a 4 out of 4-star rating, and a nearly perfect score from Charity Navigator, which is a independent accreditation source. Charity Navigator gives them that high score because of their stability, efficiency, sustainability, and commitment to transparency. In addition to accreditation from the Better Business Bureau, Wise Giving Alliance, Global Giving has also made it easy, quick, and safe to support people on the ground who understand the needs in their communities better than anyone else. These organizations that are there, run by Ukrainians, were there long before the news cameras arrived, and they'll be there long after the cameras leave. They know how to make their communities more resilient to future disasters, and they're already hard at work. Global Giving puts donations and grants directly into their hands because the status quo, which gives the vast majority of funding to a few large organizations, doesn't always make sense. Global Giving relief funds have been recommended by the New York Times, the Associated Press, NPR, Washington Post, Oprah, ABC News, and the US State Department. If you want to participate in my fundraiser for Global Giving, go to bit.ly, bit.ly, and then /peace for Ukraine, or go directly to globalgiving.org. Make a donation today and help the people that are suffering in Ukraine. All right, so let's talk now about, and I hope you will donate to organizations that are helping the Ukrainians, because this invasion is really not a good thing.